Next is fall raise and raise fall tones followed by tail. In English intonation, fall raise and raise fall are pitch movements that convey different meaning, especially in spoken discourse. When these tones are followed by tail, the pitch movement affect only the first stressed syllable, while the subsequent syllable, the tail, remain relatively level or slightly follow the contour of the main tone. Fall raise tones start with falling pitch and then raise. It usually convey uncertainty, politeness, hesitation, and or contrast. When fall raise tone is followed by tail and syllable after the tonic syllable, the pitch rises slightly over the tail but does not go high. Second is raise fall. Tones start with raising pitch and then drop sharply. It often expresses certainty, finality, surprise, or strong emotion like enthusiasm or disapproval. When a rise fall tone is followed by tail, the pitch falls steeply on the tonic syllable and the main low throughout the tail. Like for example, first is fall raise. If you can see, the first syllable is falling and next is raise. Like I might buy it, or I might have thought of buying it. Next is example of rise fall. Rise fall, like when I say, is raised and then fall, like no, or that's a nice way to speak to your mother. Next is high and low head. High and low head in intonation in English play a crucial role in conveying meaning, emotion, and emphasis in speech. The head of the unstressed refer to the portion of a tone, a unit that starts from the first stressed syllable and extend up to but does not include the tonic syllable, the most prominent syllable in sentence. First is high head. The first stressed syllable in head is pronounced at high pitch, often higher than the tonic syllables beginning. Unstressed syllable after the high head maintain a moderate pitch. A high head convey enthusiasm, surprise, and excitement. And second is low head. The first stressed syllable in the head pronounced low, lower than the tonic syllable beginning. Unstressed syllable after the low head maintain a low or a natural pitch. A low head convey naturally, seriousness, and formality. Like for the example, high head. The bus was late. Is that the end? And on the low head, the bus was late. Is that the end?
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the problems that are found in analyzing the intonation. So the first problem is identifying the tonic syllable itself. So the tonic syllable is often identified by pitch movement, but then again, this is not always reliable, so it could be more complex than it already is. And then when followed by a tail, the pitch movement may be spread across the tonic and tail. It makes it more difficult, again, to identify. And then some tone units may contain two tonic syllables, typically with a fall on the first and a rise on the second. Of course, that makes it more complex for us to identify. And then the second problems that are found is determining tone unit boundaries. So it's not always clear, except when separated by pauses. So if not separated by pauses, it's most likely to be unclear. And then principles includes detecting sudden pitch changes and recognizing rhythmic interruptions. And yeah, these principles are helpful but not always conclusive, especially in natural speech. And then the third problem that are found is anomalous tone units. So some tone units do not fit standard frameworks, such as those with unusual tone patterns. Incomplete tone units can also occur due to interruption. Okay, so what is the function of intonation actually is? So intonation helps listener understand the speaker's message by serving several key functions, such as expressing emotions and attitudes, and then highlighting stressed syllables and important words, and clarifying grammar and syntax, and then also signaling new information or expected responses in conversation. So without intonation, every syllable is spoken at the same pitch with no pauses or changes in speech or loudness. Speech would sound mechanical and lack meaning. So it sounds weird if a conversation doesn't use intonation, and that's why intonation is very important in conversation in English. So yeah.
Okay, next we move to the attitudinal function of intonations. So as we know, intonation refers to the rise and fall of pitch in speech, which helps convey emotions and attitudes. For example, the same sentence can sound angry, happy, grateful, or even bored, depending on how it is spoken. Different languages have distinct intonation patterns, making it instantly recognizable. The role of intonation in conveying attitudes and emotions in spoken language, particularly in English. In English, misusing intonation can cause misunderstandings. A foreign learner might accidentally sound rude or disinterested when they intend to sound polite or appreciative. That this highlights the importance of learning proper intonations. In this research, they're using several methods to analyze intonation. So for each method, they also have the challenges itself. First, infinite sentence approach. This approach, by analyzing made-up sentence with different intonation patterns, the challenges is this approach is too subjective and artificial because it doesn't reflect real conversations. Next, listener response approach. So basically, this approach is by asking people to identify attitudes they perceive in spoken sentence. But results can be inconsistent due to language complexity. Also, people use a wide range of adjectives to describe emotions, making it hard to categorize response accurately. Next, speaker performs approach. So this approach basically like speaker says sentence with assigned emotions, and researchers analyze their speech. The challenges in this approach is acting skills is very, so that make the result may not be reliable. Last is studying natural speech. Basically, in this method, researchers analyze real conversations to find common patterns in intonation and emotion. This method is more accurate than previous methods, and most effective because it captures natural speech behavior. Okay, next we have three suprasegmental or three types of variable. First, we have sequential. Sequential is about the order of how we say things one after another. In intonation, sequential means the way we arrange our words and sentences step by step to show meanings or feelings. Example, like I'm saying, I was happy, then I got sad. My tone changes because the feeling changed in sequence. Next, we have prosodic. Prosodic is features are the musical part of speaking. So basically, it's like how the voice rises, falls, gets louder or softer, and this to show emotion like excitement, anger, surprise, or boredom, etc. Example: a word really can change the meaning with different tone voice. Really with a rising tone voice, like really, it sounds like I'm surprised, or to show that I'm surprised of something. And really, that with a flat tone, like I'm showing that I'm not interested at something. Or the simple idea is like your voice music, like pitch, loudness, speed. It also shows your attitude or feelings. Last, we have paralinguistic. Paralinguistic features are the extra sounds we make while speaking that are not words, like loving, sighing, pausing, or even the way our voice sounds, soft, harsh, or trembling. These also show feelings or attitude. Example, sighing while saying, I'm fine. Uh, like it shows that you're not really fine. Or another example is like laughing while saying, that's funny. That really shows that you are really find it funny, find it something funny. So the simple idea is like sounds or voice changes around the words that show feelings. Okay, the last material is intonation patterns. Intonation patterns have three types: rising intonation, falling intonation, rise, fall, rise intonation. First, falling intonation. Falling intonation used for finality and certainty. Example like I am absolutely sure. Or another example like we live in London. Please pay attention to the intonation in the end of the sentence. Another example like I love going to the beach. She works with me. Next, we have rising intonation. Rising intonation is common in questions, less or encouraging response. Please pay attention to the intonation in the end of the sentence. Example like I'm saying, can you help me? Can you help me? Or how long is it? Next, we have full rise intonation. Full rise intonation expresses uncertainty or politeness. Like example, you may, you may be right. You may be right. You may be right. Next, we have rise fall intonations that to show surprise or emphasize. Example, you finish all of it. You finish all of it. You finish all of it.